proudly presented to us today by the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you to our judges, Shelley Lukasiewicz from CPA Saskatchewan, Katie Lockhart from EMCO, Nick Kochar from Refresh, Alana Cook from the Government of Saskatchewan, Kim McConnell from AdFarm, Michael Hofford from Farm Credit Canada, Tiffany Stevenson from the Ministry of Agriculture, and Mohammed Torshizi from the Department of Bioresource Policy, Business and Economics, and the College of Agriculture and Bioresources. Competitors today will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes to ask the presenters their desired questions. The volunteer timekeeper will show time cards at various intervals to indicate the remaining time, and will stop any speaker who exceeds the maximum time limit. No questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking will be permitted from the audience at any given time. The audience will only be permitted to applaud following the question and answer period. The audience is also banned from any materials that bear the name or symbols of a competing university. And lastly, we ask that the audience exit the room immediately following the question and answer period. You can begin whenever you're ready.
Pride. Pride is a value that runs deep within Saskatchewan. They have pride within their cities, their schools, their sports teams, and finally their agriculture. I'm very pleased to be here today with the Ministry of Agriculture and SAL Consulting. I am Stephanie, Anna, and Laura, and we are thrilled to be talking about how the Ministry of Agriculture will be redefining how they work with newer generations. So our executive summary today outlines what we will be discussing. So how are we going to educate a younger demographic, and how will we help you be able to reach them? Will that be through university education or through a more digitally, technologically connected approach? And we really want to be able to solve the issue of increasing media impressions and educating this younger demographic and consumer group. So our key issue, as I previously highlighted, is to really help you understand how to properly educate a younger group of individuals on the agriculture industry and what it means to Saskatchewan, and finally what it means to you. So what makes agriculture unique? It is really the diversity of this industry. It is not just farming. It goes to cattle, it goes to all different types of stocks, the transportation of it, the harvesting, the marketing. It's such a diverse industry that is lost sight with so many different consumers, especially younger generations. We want to ensure that the history of it, the roots that are grounded within Saskatchewan, really is translated through to all of the younger demographics who are coming to light and who are the leaders of the next generation. And we really want to help you be able to make that message clear. And finally, agriculture, farming, all of it's a necessity. It isn't something that you can just toss away. It's something you really need, something that's part of your everyday life. And we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that and that you will be able to translate that message effectively. So the strengths that Saskatchewan currently has within the agriculture industry is its strong land, its soil, the understanding of how to use it to cultivate the best crops, how they are able to do immense research in order to ensure that it's always top-notch quality and to ensure that consumers are aware of that too. And finally, innovative techniques are always used in order to ensure that the best amount of resources and tools and people are always utilized. Some of the weaknesses, however, is limited consumer awareness, really, of how the industry works, what it means, what is put into the ground, and what the final product is that you're actually consuming. What we really aim to do is strip away any of these misconceptions relating to things such as steroids or things such as hormones put within different breeds such as cattle, and that really it does provide benefit because it is allowing you to cultivate more livestock on a smaller plot of land, and really the health impacts aren't as harmful as one would see. So our objectives today are really to help you increase consumer trust and awareness. We really want to ensure that we're going to alter the perception of consumers, and finally, improve consumer education on agricultural issues at hand. The metrics used in order to ensure that this happens is media impressions. So with this younger demographic that you have targeted, it is essential that social media, digital, mobile are really utilized. So with that in hand, the amount of impressions, the tweets, the likes, the shares, all of these will be looked at. Furthermore to that as well, what this means is interest in future careers. Agriculture is so diverse and vast. There is so many possibilities within this career market, and it's paramount that students are aware of this as well. And then finally, the industry equity. We really want to boost this equity and make sure that it grows with the proposed media plan that we will present to you. So the opportunities that we really have identified is technology. This has been the forefront of everything from how the agricultural industry works and also how our consumer market is starting to lean towards today. With that, also conscious consumers. They are increasingly aware that food is coming from different places. They want to support local initiatives, local farms, and local communities. And also the diversity of the agricultural industry as well is another important opportunity to capitalize on and to ensure that this is effectively translated to all consumers, especially the younger audiences, which we know that you want to target today. So with that in mind, there's also specific trends that are starting to become more distinct within the marketplace that should also be highlighted. This is health-conscious consumers. So of course within agriculture, all of the food products are very healthy, so consumers are gravitating to them already. But really, in order to show that it's locally grown, locally bred, and then experiential marketing. We don't want just to provide one plain ad. We want consumers to feel that they're part of something, to feel that pride of Saskatchewan that I previously touched on, and to know that what they are tasting, what they're touching, is really part of who they are from. And once again, that does help support local initiatives. So the value chain we highlighted is really the whole process related to the agricultural industry. Now, of course, there are so many different facets of it as it is a diverse industry, which I previously touched on. But today we really want to focus on the consumers. And we want them to become aware of the farmers, the distributors, and the retailers within the marketing communication that we are going to just touch on about in one quick second. So with consumers in mind, the target audience that we are looking at is 18 to 30-year-old conscious consumers who are educated, who are aware of locally grown foods. They want to support it. They are really technologically connected, and they do value prosperity of their province, as well as their peer groups and the local communities that they are surrounded by. So they strive to fulfill emotional appeal as well with everything they purchase. So they don't just want to have a regular steak. They want to have a steak that really means something to them because they know exactly where it's from and what it means. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass this off to Anna, who's going to go through our alternatives for you today.
Thanks, Lauren. So what Stephanie has addressed is that the issue here is how are we going to educate these young individuals who have this misconception of the hormones and everything that has to do with agriculture. So we came up with two solid alternatives that we really feel could benefit that misconception moving forward with agriculture. So university charge. This would be essentially gathering a group of students from university and asking them, what is your perception on meat, on the beef, the cattle that are raised, and hormones that are used to raise those cattle. And filming this whole process of educating these students on what the truth is behind it, showing them that one piece of cabbage has more hormones than 1,000 servings of beef. And getting their feedback in the end of how this educational process has really impacted their thoughts on the hormones and the way the cattle are raised. Also partnering with the Agriculture in Classroom Canada. This would also further leverage that current target market that we are looking towards. Secondly, connecting Saskatchewan. What this would be is essentially, first off, education. So educating the consumers on the truth behind hormones. So this would be a co-op partnership. And what we'd be doing is having an iBeacon. And if you are not aware what an iBeacon is, it's something that is used in stores to pop up onto your phone by using a Bluetooth type of technology that can link you to a website. So what we want to do is further upgrade a website that really connects to this iBeacon and really educates the consumer on the food that they are searching for in stores, what the truth behind that food is. As well, this would also show the value chain of how these products are brought to the store from top to bottom. As well, we want to really further leverage that pride in Saskatchewan by having a Rough Rider partnership. What this would do is actually ask them about what misconceptions they've gone through as growing up or what they have now, and really connecting that to the misconception with beef or other products. So first off, university charge. What we did for both these alternatives is evaluate them on 3 pillars, which essentially tie to our objectives. So consumer reach. This is low because it's only really targeting the student bodies, all the students, and it's a very quick type of social media reach that really does devaluate as time passes. So the awareness initially is very high. This leverages the social media to get that word out on what the truth is behind hormones. And as I said, the change of perception is moderate because of the fact that, yes, it does educate you, but when you do go to the stores, do you really think about that one piece of social media that you saw? So overall, it does target university students and really does educate that young demographic, but it doesn't really call into action what's going to push them to think about it when they are in stores as well. Secondly, connecting Saskatchewan. So consumer reach is high because of this type of spokesperson that really does connect with the Saskatchewan demographic. This is a very high consumer reach. As well as the awareness generated is high because of the fact that not only is it an educational piece with the iBeacons and teaching these consumers how to shop, but it's also connecting to that emotional aspect that everyone goes through in everyday life. And it also changes the perception because of that. So overall, this is our decision matrix. As you can see, 1 being low and 9 being very favorable, it is clearly that connecting Saskatchewan is the obvious choice to go with here. Overall, it does create that consumer reach and awareness and trust, but yes, it does have a little bit more of cost to implement. But we find that this will bring back a lot of positive feedback. So overall, recommendation, connecting Saskatchewan. Like I said, it's really educational digital content that really is innovative, it is coming up in, really fast as well. The Rough Rider partnership, it does really connect with the Saskatchewan people, really connecting to that pride that they bring to their province. And having an iBeacon is a really innovative way to educate these consumers while they are in store. And furthermore, when they are at home and searching on the website of what they can do to better their health. Obviously, the co-op partnership, co-op really does incorporate that whole home feel. They want, when you go to store, to feel at home as well. So they do have similar values. And overall, we came up with a hashtag #SeeTheRealSasky to encourage those consumers and youth audiences to look and see the real Sasky in themselves, find the misconceptions, post about that, maybe some videos on what they have found has really affected them growing up, and really connect to that misperception on agriculture. So, uncovering your roots. I really would like to take time for you right now to think about a misconception that you've dealt with. Whether it's because you might be a little bit obese, people think you're lazy or unhealthy, or because you live in Saskatchewan, you really like country music. Whatever it is, that's bringing that back. Misconception goes around with everyone, and that's what it does with Saskatchewan beef and Saskatchewan agriculture. So that's what I'd like to really demonstrate to you today. And now I'm going to pass off to Laura to talk about implementation.
So we have outlined a very feasible implementation for our campaign for you to educate and change this perception that does exist in today's world with this younger demographic. So first, planting the seeds. In the first 6 months, we want to focus first on website development. This is creating a platform that reaches this consumer It really allows people to travel throughout the website seamlessly, see exactly where the beef is coming from the farmers, right to the grocery stores, through the restaurants. We can change what A&W out there is saying about real beef, and we can show that these hormones are helping and supporting the beef that is grown here in Saskatchewan. We want to solidify our two partnerships that are very important. First, with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, as well as with the co-op grocery stores. We want to make sure that we have firm relationships with these two organizations to further leverage this campaign. Following this, we want to acquire the iBeacons that we will be placing in 2 test markets, first in Regina as well as in Saskatoon, in a few select co-op locations. So following growing season, this is the next 6 months, so 6 months to 1 year. With the website development, we want to create the iBeacon tutorial. We understand that iBeacons are innovative and very new technologies that not a lot of people are aware of what they do. So to show that when you walk by, a location service is tapped, your Bluetooth phone connects right with the technology, and the website pops right up on your phone, so you can educate yourself exactly on what the food is in the store. Next, our partnerships. We want to begin with Saskatchewan Rough Rider football players posting their misconceptions of themselves, of the province, on their own social media platforms personally. They already have a very large following. They resonate with a lot of consumers here in Saskatchewan, and we want to leverage this to the best of our abilities. We also want to roll out in-store flyers to educate people on the coming iBeacon platforms. And then we do want to begin a commercial development, so this will start in this phase as well. And then we move into harvest. So this is from 12 to 18 months. With the website, we are going to be tracking views, usage patterns, how many people, what they're exactly looking at, as well driving people to the social media posts through our website. Following that with our partnerships, this is when we want the general population to start posting about their misconceptions. So to be able to put the same hashtag, See the Real Sasky, as these celebrities, it shows that connection with the football players, and then they drive to the website about agriculture. So this is how we are changing that perception. Following this, we will release the commercial. I will go into more details about the commercial just in a couple of minutes. We then want to look and see if there's expansion possibilities. Can we roll this out nationwide? Do we need to further saturate Saskatchewan and build that awareness here? This is the time that we would measure that. So connecting the people. In this informational commercial we would like to do would be run through our social media platforms such as YouTube and others, and it would just show a simple person, someone in this target demographic, walking into a co-op grocery store with their smartphone, which they're always on, and they walk by some grains, they walk by some meat, and their phone beeps, they look. Because this technology is so innovative, we really want to show in this commercial the step-by-step process, encouraging them to buy these products, showing exactly how it's getting to the grocery stores and going home and enjoying this locally grown food. So the budget that we have outlined has pushed the $500,000 cap that we did see placed from the ministry, but we do believe that we need to push an aggressive campaign to really resonate with today's younger demographic, and so we do believe that a higher budget will be worth it in the end. So $687,000 is what we've outlined, and we've gone through the 2 partnerships, the website development, the acquisition of the iBeacons, as well as the commercial in the end. And we believe this is a very feasible budget moving forward. The risks that we have outlined is that there's low buy-in both with the iBeacons because of the new technology, as well as the website. We believe we have mitigated this through the social media presence, the in-store flyers that will build that awareness of both the website as well as the iBeacons. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders really does resonate with this demographic. It shows that Saskatchewan pride, which we really want to encourage. The agriculture here is incredible, and we want to express that to this younger demographic. We are maybe at risk of reaching too large of a demographic, but we believe that the technology we have used does focus on this younger demographic because they are familiar with things like this. They are well connected in their everyday lives, so we are not worried about reaching too large of a target market here. So we have resolved all of our objectives. We've increased that trust and awareness. We have altered that perception, and we have improved the customer education. We have measured our key success on social media impressions with 500,000 likes cumulative through all the posts there, 2,000 shares, 250,000 website and YouTube hits, and we will see return in growth in locally produced foods through our campaign here. And we do believe that we can accomplish all of this in a short year and a half. So rediscover Saskatchewan and rediscover pride. Basically, what it comes down to is how can we show the history and the pride of Saskatchewan through their agriculture and leverage this technology to do so. This younger demographic is growing and is going to be so impactful in future generations, and we want to make sure that we portray that message moving forward. So I'd like to thank you all very much for coming out this afternoon, and we can now open the floor to any questions.
Okay, but does that really remove the representative customers' long-run health concerns?
We do believe with an educational website, we can show exactly what that protein does do to, say, an athlete's body, and it can show the health conscious that these hormones are not all bad that are being put into the meat, and that's the big misconception we do want to change. So we think with our educational website, we can showcase that.
Your one slide has unique selling proposition. What are we selling in one sentence and to all one sentence?
You are selling the best products you have to the people of Saskatchewan. Would be how I would phrase it. So, since agriculture is so many things and it has such high quality, everyone consumes it, especially this target market. So that is what you are selling, and that is what they are receiving.
There's a lot riding on your approach with a partnership with the Rough Riders. What if they say no?
By showing that social issue and showing that, yes, they probably honestly have gone through that conception of maybe because they're an athlete, they weren't very smart or they didn't achieve other types of excellence. Honestly, because of that social conception, we feel like they will come in and really support this cause, because it's not only addressing that agricultural issue, it's also addressing social issues that will show that they are a better player, a better athlete as well.
Can you tell me how your campaign is going to address the issue of drawing more people into agriculture for a career?
So what we will show through the website and through the iBeacon is all of the different processes it takes to get the actual food product from the crop to the table. And through that it will show the different types of roles that are necessary for that. By addressing that to a younger demographic, they will be aware that there are careers available within the agriculture industry they may not have been aware about, such as marketing, such as communications. From that, also on the website, we will have links to job recommendations through the government of Saskatchewan that will direct them towards job postings that are currently available with the government. And through that, there will be increases in applications and awareness of different positions available.
Because we're a fiscally responsible government, I note that you are $187,000 over budget. How are you going to either scale back or leverage and support, get other support for this fund?
Sure. We understand that we are over budget, but we do believe with this aggressive campaign, we can see that money recycling back into the local economy. As well, we believe that with the local media attention, more foundations and other organizations in Saskatchewan will get on board with this. And because it's over budget, we do understand that it is a bit more than was proposed, but it will be worth it in the end.
Oh,
sorry, just to add on Kim's question a little bit, it seems that a good part of your budget is actually going to educating people about the technology, the iBeacon technology compared to the issue itself. Where's the balance of being out there and being innovative with actually putting your budget where it should be spent on educating your consumer? Is it worth being an early adopter for the sake of your budget?
We believe it is. iBeacons themselves are not that expensive. We just budgeted approximately $2,000 for 10 test beacons to see the feasibility of them within the marketplace. The actual video educating consumers on the iBeacons also does showcase the total longevity and value chain of the agricultural industry as a whole. So with that, you are able to not only market the iBeacon, but also the agriculture industry, being able to demonstrate that it's more than just farming. It has so many more facets to it, so we don't see that as an issue.
One of the concepts you're proposing is to leverage individuals' social media, their Twitter accounts or whatnot. What about managing the risk of people coming back with negative feedback to the riders and then how they would deal with that?
Of course, yeah. We will monitor all of the social media in partnership with the Rough Riders very closely. So we understand that negative comments are out there in social media every day, and so we will closely monitor, and if it does become a really strong issue, we'll address that when we get to it.